Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about something because this is kind of irritating, man. I get all these comments in my section telling me like, "Hey, man, you need to play God of War on harder levels or all of this stuff." Well, first of all, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew. We're talking about the PlayStation Fanboys nonsense. So, God of War came out last Wednesday. I beat the game in like 20 hours. It was like 19 hours and 23 minutes. I noticed a pattern, man. Like this is the funny thing about the ponies, the Sony ponies, the ones that are in my comment section, you know, blowing it up, telling me that I'm wrong and I need to do this and I need to do that. God of War right now is sitting at a 7% completion rate. Let that sink in, man. 7% of people that bought this game have actually beat the game on any difficulty. On any. And so here's the thing. Once there's like a Valkyrie fight, I would say maybe like, I don't know if it's exactly half of the game, but up to that fight, it's like 40%. And right after that, well, right before that, right after that is literally when this game gets boring. Like it gets boring, like really freaking boring. And then you see everything else after that. All the trophies that I got, we're looking at 9%, 15%. All the way down to 7% of completing the game. After that long, I did it. I stuck it out. I sat through it. I forced myself to finish the game. And I came away thinking like, yeah, man, that was an 8. Maybe with these numbers, it should be a little bit lower. Well, what started this is I was kind of arguing with a little boy over on Twitter. And he was telling me like, hey, you're just trying to be a fake reviewer and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, man, well, show me your completion rate. And he's like, I'll get around to it. I haven't even started. I put it down. I'm playing Sonic. And I was like, see, dude, I'm telling you, man, this game is boring. This game is boring. Now, you look at all the other PlayStation games, all the ones that they're like, oh, yeah, man, like, check out Stray, man. Stray's a good game. 5% completion rate on that game. I just went through and that's the funny thing. If you're a PlayStation fan, you can actually look at all the stats from everybody that's playing the game, and it'll tell you 5%. Actually, almost every single trophy on Stray was right around 5%. So yeah, and that game's up there in like the game of the year. Like nobody played it. Nobody cared about it. They got it and they didn't care, just like I did. I didn't care. I'm so sick and tired of the overhype for these PlayStation titles, and then people like I get it, guys. Like I'm a PlayStation fan. I am a PlayStation fan. I do like their games. I'm probably one of the only 7% that actually does at least get through them. I get through them. The highest one that I could see that just came out was The Last of Us Part 1 remake. That one's sitting at 54%. It's a way better game, dude. It's a 10. I said it was a 10. 50% of people will beat it. I'm like, wow, dude, that's impressive. You look at Returnal and that one's sitting at, gosh dang it, it's like 6%. I'm sorry, man. Like, I do know what games are good and what ones aren't, man. If God of War is sitting there, because we just went through a whole weekend, and like I said, I beat it in 20 hours. We just went through a whole weekend. You could have got through this game. If you were like me or like any other gamer that's been like, oh my gosh, man, we need another banger. Dang, dude, you would have got through that. But no, let's face facts. Everybody spent their money on Call of Duty. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, guys. I gave it an 8, and yes, it was a slog through the middle of that game. And as much as it made me play as the boy, man, I really did feel like quitting a lot of times. I did. But somebody had during one of our live streams posted a spoiler, and spoiler alert, it didn't happen that way. So I was kind of irritated already, you know, going into the game thinking, my gosh, you know, this is going to be terrible. But then I get through the game and that never happened. So I was just like, whatever, dude. So yeah, I did. I kind of rushed it because I wanted to see, and I wanted to, because I was gonna be mad if what happened, what they said happened. I was gonna be pretty mad. Like I was gonna be pretty mad, and I probably would have scored the game lower, but it didn't happen. So I sat back and I took everything in, and I was like, okay, let's really think about this for a minute, and so I did. I mean, I come up with an 8. I feel like an 8 is a really fair. I feel like that's a really fair review for God of War Ragnarok, man. It's not a terrible game, but it really does kind of drag, and it feels like a lot of filler. It does. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was all side content and they just did like, like the 10-hour story, just boom, get you out. Like, whatever, man. It is what it is. I'm so used to getting short story driven games from PlayStation that it doesn't even matter. Yes, you can go explore. But I'll tell you what, man, the only realm that I wanted to explore was Svartalheim. So I did. After I beat the game, I went back and explored that, did all the side quests, did all that stuff. And yeah, sadly, it's still an 8. The side content really didn't do anything to make it any better. Like, I literally go and find a hammer, take it back to the dude, and he's just like, eh. I'm like, okay, like, that was dumb, because it was a little bit of a, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. If you guys want to prop this up and hold it up on your shoulders and try to say it's game of the year over something like Elden Ring, that really sucks, man. That's really disingenuous. I get that you love your graphics. That's cool, man. Like, whatever, dude. It looks good. Like, it really does. It looks really good. You want to buy it? To me, that sounds like you guys, you PlayStation fans, are buying these games because you want the eye candy. And that's the thing that I've like kind of like moved past. Like, I just don't care. I got a PC, man. Everything looks like a PlayStation game on PC. Literally everything. They all got the max graphics that you can get. Like, it looks incredible. I know. Don't take my word for it. Your PlayStation 5 is like the top of the line. Whatever, man. Go buy a freaking PC and then come back and you'll be like, oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. And you'll understand that, dude. Like, I'm not trying to pour shame you for having a PlayStation, because I have one and I like playing it. Whatever. I have an Xbox Series X. I use both of these consoles more than I do the PC. But I'm telling you, man, if graphics are your thing, if that's your thing, like, cool, man. Say it has really good graphics, because if I was to only rate God of War Ragnarok on visuals alone, yeah, that looks like a 10. I'd give it a 10 just on visuals, pure visuals alone. I'd give it a 10. There's some sections in the game that I'm like, oh boy, I don't know about that, but for visuals and character design, stuff like that, yeah, it looks pretty dang good. Like, it looks pretty dang good. You could definitely give it a 10 on that. But I'm not rating the game on visuals, guys. I'm rating the game on, I mean, yeah, visuals do play a pretty big part in it, but then there's gameplay, there's replayability, there's longevity of the game. Like, what I experienced, man, was a lot of filler stuff in the middle of the story, and it just made the thing more frustrating, especially when I was playing through it on like the normal difficulty. It was just taking so long because they were like sponges, man. You're just like you're fighting a sponge. It's taking a long time to get through them. And it was literally feeling like it was wasting my time. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, man. I'm giving you my honest 100% feelings on God of War Ragnarok. Yes, it is a beautiful game, and I said that in my review. Look, this is a really good feel-good game. Like, it's a really good feel-good game. Like, you're going to buy it, you're going to be blown away by the visuals, you're going to be like, whoa, man, but then you're going to get to that point, right after the Valkyrie fight, where everybody else got, and then the numbers started, because nobody cares about anything after that. Like, seriously, it really does slow down to a point where you're just like, oh my gosh, and it is such a slog through the rest of that you're just like, wow, man, really? I need to go do this? Why? What is the point of having to go do this? Why do I need to do this? And why do I need to travel through all of this to do that? Because it seems extremely insignificant in the whole thing of getting through this game. Look, guys, I learned a long time ago when it comes to the PlayStation brand that you really do have to control your hype. Like, yeah, I was pretty hyped. You know, everybody comes out and they're like, oh yeah, this is a 10, this is a 10. And I'm thinking back to like the old God of Wars where, like, dude, like, things would be like this huge spectacle and it would be like really cool. Like, you'd be walking through, you know, like the desert and the sand was blowing in the first one, or you'd be climbing up a Titan's back and it was like huge, and just those cool spectacles that felt really cool. Like, I mean, obviously it was small, but I mean, like, it looked cool. Like, it was cool. We'd never seen that before. And we're seeing this and we're like, whoa, that's cool. And PlayStation now, man, gosh, I really do feel like they shoot for visuals at the expense of gameplay and at the expense of, I mean, imagine this. Imagine if PlayStation really did craft every single side quest and craft every single thing to where you did not waste any time, where none of it felt like filler. And it was like, whoa, man, like everything was good. If they put that much time into the visuals and the story and all of that stuff, why can't they do that? Why can't they have good crafted side quests? Everybody says they want to compare it to Witcher 3. Witcher 3 was an amazing game. There are multiple ways to deal with each situation. Like, I played through the game twice and they were both different. And I'm playing through it a third time right now, and I'm to a point and I'm like, whoa, dude, I didn't know the freaking little baby was what's it called? Like when you're at the Baron, because this is the first time this happens. Usually I was like calming the baby or whatever, and we made it through there, and like the baby didn't change or whatever. But this time it changed, and I was like, whoa! And this thing is tough. Like, I couldn't beat it. I was like, whoa, what the heck? And I was actually recording it, and I'm like, what the freak? So it's like, even then, I found something new. Every time I play The Witcher 3, this game is freaking amazing, and we're getting an update on December 14th to next gen. We're going to get ray tracing. There's some more visual enhancements. Some of the stuff from the TV series is coming. That's cool, man. I love that freaking game. It is my second favorite game of all time. Like, I love The Witcher 3. Like, it is an amazing experience. They just seriously, like, ages like fine wine, and it looks so incredible. Having it on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, I'm telling you, man, The Witcher 3 is an incredible game. The Elden Ring, incredible game. Both of those games have hundreds of hours of gameplay, and they like really never get old. Like, they don't get old, and that's what happens with the PlayStation fan base, man. I get that you guys love your games. Like, I do too, man. I do love them. I love my pretty visuals. I love them. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, God of War is a 10 and it's better than Elden Ring. No, that is not the case. Elden Ring is a far better game. Sonic Frontiers is a far better game. Gotham Knights was a far better game, in my opinion. Horizon Forbidden West was a better game. They were better games. God of War really does kind of tread a fine line of, I'm not going to say movie game. It really does tread like a fine line. Like, there is enough gameplay to call it a game, but there's also enough cutscenes in there to be like, ooh boy, you know what I mean? And enough just, and it's like such a corridor experience that, like, I don't know, like a lot of the story beats that a lot of people liked, they didn't really hit me that hard. You know, like, I am a dad, I got teenage kids, whatever. You would think that would hit hard with me, but actually I'm just so annoyed with that in real life that having to deal with that in a video game was even more annoying. Like, it just kind of adds to the annoyance of that experience for me. Now, I get, like, when I go online, when I make these videos, I open myself up to criticism. When I get on Twitter, I open myself up to criticism. And I want, like, if you're going to criticize me, at least finish the game. And B, like, give me real criticism. Like, telling me that I need to beat the game in a harder difficulty. Like, what would that change? Seriously, what would that change? It was literally more frustrating and more annoying to just sit there and waste my time. That is it wasn't hard. Like, the combat wasn't hard. It was the fact that it felt like it was just wasting my time, and I was getting sick of it. I was ready to stop playing it. So I turned it down so I could just enjoy the story and get through the story and wrap my head around the whole experience, because that's the way I chose to do it, man. Like, you haven't even beat the game and you're criticizing me for it. Beat the game. Finish the game. And then come to me and let's have a discussion, man. Like real gamers, like people that have played the game. Let's have a real discussion. Talk to me about the things you want. Maybe you can change my mind. Maybe you can make me see something a little bit different than the way I was seeing it. Because we all perceive and feel things in a different way. We do. We're gamers and we do that. Some of us love freaking weird games, man. There's literally games out there that people love. Me personally, a lot of the story beats with this God of War didn't hit. They didn't hit like they should have. And no, this isn't an Xbox thing. This really isn't an Xbox thing. What have I ever said on this channel that would make you think I'm an Xbox fanboy? Aside from my investment in their ecosystem runs better on an Xbox Series X than it did on an Xbox One X. I think Xbox first party games are cool. Like I feel like they're comparable to what PlayStation's putting out for the most part, and they're fun games. They've got, long legs. People play them. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think that, Xbox or PlayStation games are better or worse than either one. I just feel like they're completely different in their own little ecosystems. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But to say Xbox games are trash and PlayStations are better, no, dude, this is not a fanboy thing. And I hope you understand that. I hope you can look past your own fanboyism and understand that, dude, I love video games. I love playing them, but I'm not going to just sit and shill for the PlayStation stuff just because it's got good graphics. I need a little bit more for my $70 than just pretty graphics, because I've got a perfectly good PC that I could play any game from like years past and they all look good like PlayStation games now. You know what I mean? Like, I could get pretty graphics on basically everything. Have you seen Assassin's Creed Valhalla maxed out? Have you seen Assassin's Creed Unity maxed out? They look beautiful. They look beautiful with higher resolution and everything else. I'm telling you, I love my pretty visuals too, but yeah, dude, sometimes I just need a little bit more than pretty visuals. And it is no secret that I have moved more toward open world experiences. I feel like I get the most bang for my buck. I feel like I don't get as bored as quick because there's always something to do, and I can if something's bugging me, I can just go do something else and I can come back and tackle that later. And I usually put, a pretty decent amount of time into open world games, and I really like those. When I'm playing a linear experience and it feels like it's wasting my time, I can't just stop and go do something else and then come back to that, because it like, what am I like? It just feels like I just need to rush through it and get it done. Like, that's the way it feels, and that's fine. I mean, I just feel like last generation, I really started caring a lot more about open world games, and that's kind of my thing now. Like, I really like open world games. So if I feel like, if it seems like I'm a little bit harsh on some of these games, trust me, guys, I've been here a long time. I've been doing this. I've been playing PlayStation games for a long time, but I'm not just going to blindly follow and blindly shill for PlayStation anymore, because we're talking like there's like real financial problems going on right now. Like, these $70 games cost a lot of money, dude. And if people are quitting before the halfway point of this game and not finishing it, are they getting their money's worth, man? Are they really getting that $70 worth of gameplay when they could have bought something like Call of Duty for the same price? Or they could have bought Gotham Knights and got more gameplay. They could have bought Sonic Adventures. They could have bought a different experience that would have gave them more gameplay or more of an experience, because that there should tell you everything you need to know. If people are quitting that game at like a 7% completion rate. I went back and I looked at the old God of War, and that was like 35% completion rate, guys. 35%. I'm not going to shill for a game that doesn't deserve to be shilled for. I'm not going to do it. So please stop with your ignorant comments, man. Just quit. Seriously, man. If you want to criticize me and have constructive criticism, you know that I read the freaking comments. You know that I read them. You know that if you're on Twitter and you find me on Twitter, you know that I'll talk to you. I don't ignore anybody. I don't care who you are. I will talk to mostly everybody. The only people I've blocked is this dude named Nathan Harper and Rogue. Those are the first two people I blocked. Maybe someday I'll unblock them, because I don't really believe in blocking people, but it was getting really bad before the launch of God of War. They were just really starting to get at me, really starting to get on my nerves about it. And so, yeah, I wanted to play the game and review it and get you the best information I could. I think God of War is an 8. If you're going to have a problem playing as Atreus, maybe save your money and buy it on sale, because you play almost half the game as him. So that's the only spoiler I'm going to give you in this right here. You do play almost half the game as him, and if that's going to bug you, save your money until you were ready to experience that. I'm not saying he has bad gameplay. I'm just saying, me personally, I didn't want to play as him. It was like playing Abby in The Last of Us 2. That's literally how it felt. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone that watches and subscribes and becomes a part of this community. It's awesome. We are growing pretty fast, and I really appreciate everybody that stands by me as we continue this journey. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Here's your 20-minute video of blah, blah, blah.